Welcome back to NBK Tech World. Let's continue our review of what we have done so far. Remember, if you already feel comfortable with everything we've done so far, feel free to skip this lesson. Alright, so we finished our last video talking about reviewing the operators. We talked about the triple equals, strict equality, talked about strict inequality, and all the other operators greater than, lower, less than or equal to, etc. etc. So now let's review what we did in terms of string concatenation and interpolation. So we learned about string concatenation to combine strings together. So if you have a string hello and you want to add this guy to another string, you can use the plus another string. For example, if I have the string with the word hello and I have another string with the word world and you want to combine them, you can use the plus operator and that will concatenate this with that. Notice if I do this way, there won't be any space between the words, so they'll be all glued together. So you actually have to place a space either here or here, okay? So let's do it in a world. So keep that in mind. Also, remember that this space here around the operator doesn't really matter. It's just for style convention that I adopted. Even if you have spaces here, could have as many as you want, it won't make a difference to the output, right? It will be the same. What determines the output is whatever's inside the quotes. Okay? The convention is I always put one space before and after the operator. In this case, the plus. That's a style convention. Okay? So that's concatenation. And we learned that we can also have the variables like we had before, right? If you have a name, a variable, you can concatenate this variable with whatever you want. So like a message to the screen, we learned console log, hello, my name is whatever, right? You can concatenate with the variable here. So if you want to print to the console some message, and in the message you need some value from a variable. In this case, the variable is called name and holds the value my name or whatever your name is. So you can use the plus and then you concatenate with the string that's stored in the variable name. Okay, so hello, my name is my name. Okay, so that's string concatenation. Now we also learned about string interpolation. It's an alternative to concatenation that allows you to do the same kind of thing, except you don't have to break the string right here and have to add a plus and then continue on another different part. You can just use the backtick if you want to do string interpolation. That's a feature from JavaScript, ECMAScript 2015, aka ES6. Okay, so backtick, and then you do the same thing. Hello, my name is. Except now you can do the interpolation using the $sign with two curly braces and whatever you want to interpolate inside. So this time I want this value of the variable name to be replaced right here where this guy is at. Okay, so hello, my name is my name. So that's string interpolation. Okay, so string concatenation with string interpolation. It's up to you to choose which one you would like to use. You can use either of them or a combination of both, doesn't matter. Whatever you feel comfortable with, if you like better. Remember that string interpolation is fairly new to JavaScript, comes with ES6, ECMAScript 2015. That's it for interpolation and concatenation. So we also learned about functions. So we learned the concept of function and we learned to reuse code. So we can call the function many times and we don't have to change the same code at multiple places, we can just change that in the function definition. So we can call the function many times, and if you need to modify that function, you just do it once instead of every single instance where you have to do the same code. Just to illustrate, let's define a function here that prints some message and your name like we did before. So we start off with a keyword function, then you give it a name, let's say hello, okay? And then you need some parameters. This function needs some inputs. So we're gonna do just somebody's name. So we need somebody's name so we can generate an output. That is, we want to print the message to the console saying, let's say hello, whatever the person's name is. Okay, so we're gonna need that input. You need to know the name, person's name, before we can say hello to them. So that's only one parameter in this function. Now, when you define this function signature here, you're gonna open the function definition function body with the open curly brace. By convention, I always put a space, a style convention space after the parameters. Up to you to choose which convention you like. I usually do this convention. And whenever I open a block, okay, this is called also a block, a function definition block, I indent by 2 spaces, okay? That's another convention that I use. And then I start writing the function. It could be one or more statements, or it could be nothing at all, right? But that wouldn't be useful. So let's do that console log to print a message. So what we want to do is we want to say hello, whatever the person's name is, and an exclamation. How about that? Let's do a string interpolation. Do you remember? Use the backtick instead of the other kind of quote, and then the variable name within the curly braces with a prepended with a $sign. Then let's put the exclamation point there. Okay. Remember, I like adding semicolons to the end of statements. So that's another convention. You don't have to have it here, but it's a convention that I follow. For every statement in JavaScript, I will have the semicolon. And then I close the function. I finish its definition with the closing curly brace aligned on the same level as the function keyword. Okay, I don't do this, I do that. Okay, always aligned. That's a convention that's widely used in not only JavaScript but other programming languages. So let's see, everything's okay. Keyword function, name of the function, parameter just one, that's the name. Definition just does a log to the console, and the message is going to be hello, whatever name, exclamation. Okay, so we press enter and we get nothing. Return value undefined, right? The function, because we just defined the function, we did not call it yet. So first you have to define it before you can try to use it. So if you want to call the function, what you do is first, what's the function name? Say hello. Now you need to give it argument. Remember the whole notion of a parameter versus argument. So when you're defining the function, you're declaring the function signature, this part here, you give it a name and you give some parameters. When I'm talking in this context, I usually refer to this guy as the parameter. But when I'm talking about the calling, when you're calling a function, I usually say argument instead of parameter. That's just a convention and the naming, okay, a slight difference, but sometimes some people might use the same term interchangeably, but you should be aware that's a slight difference. So what's the argument? Whatever person's name you want. I'm just gonna use my name, you can use your name, okay? So let's try it out. Say hello with the argument my name, takes this guy, then goes to that function, and then this variable is gonna hold this value. Then it's going to do a log, hello, and then whatever you passed here, in this case my name, is going to be displayed. Hello, my name, with an exclamation mark. So that's it. That's the function, right? Just reviewing what we already did. And we learned you can add more stuff to the function. If you want, you can add age like we did before. So that would add another what? What do you call this guy? Another parameter, right? If you want to add another parameter, you have to separate them with a comma. So let's put age and also say, hello, whatever, you are age years old. So it's gonna say also the person's age. You are age years old. So remember, comma separated parameter list for the function definition here. By convention, I always put a space after the comma. It's not necessary, but it's a style convention. So you see there's all these style conventions that we follow. I highly recommend that you pick them up from the beginning because it'll make your code a lot cleaner, and you just practice ever since the beginning. And once you're doing the real thing, you're just gonna automatically write in a very elegant fashion. Okay, so keep that in mind, always following these good best practice conventions. So let's define this again. Let's call the function. Now we can pass two arguments. Can pass your name, comma. The second argument is going to be the age. I'm just going to make something up, a number 35. Okay, so comma separated, and this guy is going to be mapped to name. 35 is going to be mapped to age. So whatever you say name, you're going to get this inside the function block. Okay, whenever you say age, you're going to get 35 inside the function block. All right, so let's try it out. Hello, my name. You are 35 years old. So exactly what we want it to be. Okay, so that's it for functions. Now let's go on and continue our review. We learned about some string operations, remember? So we learned about converting a string, all the characters to uppercase and all the characters to lowercase. So that's very easy, right? So if you have somebody's name, like John someone, and you want to convert this, you want to generate a new string with all the characters in uppercase. You can use to uppercase. This is a method of the string. You can use the dot, the name of the function or method, and you just call it without any arguments because it already has the string right here. So you're gonna get a new string. Okay, it's not the original that's changed. You're gonna get a new string with all the letters capitalized. In the same fashion, if you have John someone all capitalized and you want to convert all of these guys to lowercase, note I just put some lowercase here. It won't matter. It will stay the same, right? When we do to what? To lowercase. And then don't forget the parentheses. Whenever you have function calls, remember the parentheses, okay? John someone, so you're gonna get every single letter in lowercase. So that's it, two uppercase and two lowercase methods of the string type. Okay, now let's talk about slicing a string. So like we did before, slice is used if you want to take parts of a string and you want to cut things off. So if you have, let's do the same example, John someone, you want to, for example, just get his last name here. You want to get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. You can use slice, right? 5 characters. You can think of it this way. Please slice the first 5 characters. That's one way of thinking about this. So this means it's gonna only get this part of the string. Okay? Then there's another, you can add another argument to the slice method to be able to grab not only from one side but from the other. For example, you want something like this part. How would you get that? Well, we have to figure out the indices, right? The index for each, the start index and the end index for the string. Remember, indices always start counting from 0. Count the index from 0. So you're going, let's count. I just want this part of the string. So how can we do it? So 0 is J, 1 is O, and 2 is going to be the H. So the first argument to the slice is going to be 2. And I forgot if I highlighted everything. Okay, sorry I took off the highlight, but let's do it like this one. From the H to all the way to the SOMIO, the O, okay? The last O. So where's that last O? So we figured out the first index for the H, that's 2. Let's keep counting. N is 3, space is 4, S is 5, O is 6, M 7, E 8, O 9. Okay, O is 9. But remember that the slice is always, the second argument is not inclusive, so you have to count one more. So you're going to count to the end. And that's 10. Let's make sure. 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, correct. 10. So you use 10, which is the index for n, but that is not included when you do the slicing. It actually includes 10 minus 1, which is going to be the O, so it's going to grab from the H to the last O. So let's try it out. So H to the last O, correct. Okay, so that's slice. So you're going to get parts of a string, you want to slice it. Okay. Now to finish our review, we're going to talk about replacement, string replacement. If you have John someone and you want to replace, say, someone with, I don't know, let's say another, you can use a dot replace on that string. First you have to tell it what to look for. Look for someone. Replace that with what? The second argument is going to be another. So I want to replace every instance of this sequence of characters with this other sequence of characters called another. Just happen to be a word. It doesn't have to be a word. Could be any sequence of characters, any patterns. So you're gonna notice now it generates a new string with whatever, whenever it sees someone, it replaces with another, the second argument to the replace method of the string. We also talked about global replacement, because if you have John someone and someone whatever, it only replaces the first instance it finds. So if you really want to replace every instance of someone with another, you have to do a global substitution. For that, you'll have to write the first argument in a regular expression fashion. For JavaScript, you can put /. Anything in between will be a pattern for a regular expression. We just learned the term. We don't quite understand everything about it yet. You just know that it's something that you can put a pattern in between. And then after that, we put a G to say it's a global substitution. Okay, for the replace, it's going to take that. Okay, you want to replace every instance of this pattern, the word someone, with this other word another. So in that case, every single instance of someone is replaced with another. Okay, so we have finished our review of all the things we've done so far. I hope that helped you to refresh your mind about all the things that we've done, so we can go on and keep on learning in this JavaScript, this wonderful journey with JavaScript. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next time, goodbye.